Hello, this is accountant Tony Novak with a short video on how to use a remote accountant. Um, I started in accounting uh, before the internet era started, but I switched to an online model back around 1997. And so it comes as a hard reminder to me that now, even after 25 years, some people are just not comfortable with or haven't been exposed to the technology and the resources. I use an online platform because once you try it, you'll like it. It is easier, safer, secure, more organized, easier to find things later, especially for those of us who are uh, getting to the point where our memories can use a little extra organizational help. And that's the purpose of this video. I'm going to share the screen uh, and just run through 6 quick points, things that I've learned. There we go. About how to use a remote accountant. The first thing is, how do you access a remote accountant? In the old days, you wanted to reach somebody, you picked up the phone. Well, nowadays nobody picks up their phone, and that is true in my case. Uh, I can't, as a security measure or common sense business measure, be picking up the phone and talking to strangers who haven't verified identity and background and whatnot. So phone just doesn't work. Same thing with text. So how do we access? So for me, the primary method of access is a secure portal. It's very simple. Once I know we're interested in talking about business or finances, or sharing some documents, or you want to have me look at something, I send an invitation to a secure portal. That invitation goes by email. Well, some people say, well, I don't use email. I'm not near a computer, but I have a phone that gets text. Well, that's fine too, so long as I know the company you use for your mobile service. If it's Verizon, for example, it's just your phone number at vtext.com, and that turns an email into a text uh, transition. But it is important to know that all government functions, all official functions, the IRS, banks, and many other uh, professional and financial services rely on email as a primary method of identification and verification. So, particularly with the younger generation that doesn't use email as much as they use text, that's fine. But understand that I have to make the transition in that case. Secure portal. I wrote, how secure is it? But the fact is, there's nothing that is 100% secure. We use the term bank level encryption. That means it's as safe as any bank data or government data. But the fact is that there have been occasional breaches. And I think it doesn't make sense for you and I to be talking about things that we can't control. The fact is that if it's as safe as anything. It's certainly safer than sending something in the mail or delivering a paper to your accountant's office where that's exposed to, who knows how many eyes and other processes. So secure online portal is as good as it gets. And it's important to understand that. I recall when I started years ago, people say, I'm never sending something private over the internet, or I'm never giving my bank information or my payment information over the internet. Well, obviously, that has changed over time. And yeah, I think it's important to reach that level of comfort as a starting point for virtually any type of business, not just accounting, but anything nowadays. We need to know and recognize what's secure and what is not. I wrote KYC rule. That refers to know your customer. Again, refers to not just accountants, but anybody who's doing personal business, banks, IRS, anybody. We have to verify who we're dealing with. So usually one of the first things I will ask for, yeah, as we're talking, is send me a picture of your driver's license or something with your social security number on it. And that allows us to establish and verify identity right off the bat. Now, other options. You are welcome to communicate with me however you want. Um, More people prefer text message, and that's fine. Some people use Facebook Messenger for calling, for messages. That's fine. But just my point is, I offer a higher level of security if you choose to use it. You set the tone, whatever you choose. The last thing under access, I put audit trail. It's important to me to be able to understand, it should be important to you too, to understand who has accessed what data, when, and for what purpose. So the systems that I use, whether it's accounting system, tax system, a text messaging system, whatever it is going to have a trail, a history trail of what happened, who said what, when, and we can, it's important to be able to keep a record of that for the future, for security purposes. I've already mentioned texting and phone, but just I'll repeat, it's just not feasible for me or for any professional just to accept random phone calls and text messages anymore. The world has moved beyond that. But once you have a client agreement with me and your number is logged in as a known number, then I guess I'm a little bit different in that way. You're welcome to call or text anytime if I can. We'll do it. Like, for example, while I was recording this, a message came in from a woman who wants to talk later today. I said, I'll text when I'm available, and then we'll talk from there. So that's the normal way of working with a remote accountant nowadays. And I think the nice thing is gives us more flexibility and faster response time. In most cases, if you send a text now, there's a good chance we're going to be talking and addressing your concern within a few hours after lunch. So that's pretty nice response time. So with a remote accountant, all agreements and work plans and payment transactions are all handled online. It's a very simple and efficient process, and it's actually getting better, it seems, month by month. But all you need to do is click and sign, authorize the payment. Again, a secure service that has never had an issue for any client, and we're happy to do that. Let me mention, though, that work plans change. Whatever we agree to on day one may not be what our plan is a week later once I've gone over documents or received new information from the IRS or some other source. Work plans change. Same when you're building a house. There's a change work order whenever you want to change the construction design or add a new feature. So the same thing here. We do a modification of work plan, and in my case, important to know is there's no formal signature required. If I know that it's again a recognized phone number, a recognized email message, and I say, hey, let's do this, and you say, agreed, let's do it, that's as good as a legal contract, and we both can rely on that, and that is what our agreement actually says. The fourth thing down there, video review. I rely heavily on video reviews, much like this one, instead of this how to use a remote accountant screen that might be a copy of your tax return or a legal notice you received, and I'm going through it and making notes. What that does is it documents my process, what we checked, what we didn't check, what we considered and what we ignored, and provides a record for later, and then also allows you to go over that multiple times if necessary, but on your own schedule, so you don't have to remember what we might have said in a phone call. And so that's been a big plus, and clients really love that feature. Approval and signing, I already mentioned that I pretty much skipped that at this point. I pretty much mentioned that it's done by any known method. The portal does have a easy sign here button, and that adds a digital signature, which is legally valid in any context. But also, when it's just between us and we're trying to look for agreement, there are things, obviously, I need your permission and agreement to do, and I will accept a text message or email so long as it's confirmed. There are other things that I absolutely cannot just accept as an email or text. For example, if you were to call or text or email, say, and this actually has happened. Hey, I'm on vacation in Florida and I can't remember my bank access code. Can you send it to me? Well, I have it, but I can't send it to you based on that message. We actually have to have at least 2 different forms of verification. What I'm probably going to ask is that they video call me. It's a Facebook user video call from Messenger, so I have a visual and a verbal, and then in addition to the text message. So we need to be careful about that. Accountants are propositioned every day for some type of scams, multiple times a day, and so we get to be very careful and very cautious on addressing those kinds of things. Finally, storage. Any document that I work on, I'm going to, and obviously anything that you send to me is going to be stored. I mentioned you can send documents by scanned documents. PDFs will come from the government, almost always in PDF format. Sometimes you receive a paper, and you can use a scan app on your phone. Just go to the apps and look up scan app. Microsoft has a good one. Google has a good one. I use a paid version from Adobe, which is just a little bit better. But in any event, a scanned app is the best way to handle online document storage. And the default or prevailing format is PDF. If you don't want to do that, there's still an easier way. You can take a cell phone picture and save that to your phone, save that to your files, and send it to me. Now, anything that you send to me, of course, will be stored for easy access in a secure folder, secure server. And it's always a good idea to have a second set of documents. So I basically ask clients, send me anything that's important. I'll just throw it in the file. If we don't need it now, it'll be there just in case you need a copy later on. That becomes especially important in situations where someone is ill or perhaps dies, and there's estate issues with the proper authorization. Then I can often provide records that otherwise might have been missing to the family. So that's extremely important. Let me just wrap up. So if you do the cell phone photo method, some accountants make them crazy if you send them too many cell phone pictures of say a letter from the IRS. Doesn't bother me. You can do that, but if you have 50 pages worth of tax documents and letters from IRS, and you want me to look at them, and you take 50 photographs and send me 50 photographs individually, that's not a great way to start our work. It takes a long time for that. So I'm going to discourage that. I'm just mentioning it is possible, it is acceptable, but it's certainly not the best method to record and share electronic documents. Let me just hit a page down here. So how to get more information or how to reach me. I said I don't pick up the phone or answer texts with strangers. So if you're seeing this and we don't know each other, go to southjersey.cpa or taxproblems.cpa and just click the Let's Talk button. You can schedule either send a message or send request a free, no obligation talk based on that. Once we do know each other, once you are in my system, my direct access cell number is available online to all clients, and based on our work agreement, determines the level of access and the schedule and the planning for that type of communication. All right, thanks for listening. I'd love to hear from you.